Some dream of the future, others build it. But what happens when one man dares to push humanity beyond its limits? This is the story of Elon Musk, a boy from South Africa who turned pain into purpose and failure into fire. From bullied child to the world's richest innovator, his life is a blueprint of resilience, obsession, and relentless vision. Stay with me as we journey through the rise, the struggle, and the legacy of the man who wants to build tomorrow. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. His father, Errol Musk, was an engineer, brilliant but troubled. His mother, May Musk, a Canadian-born model and dietitian, raised Elon and his siblings, Kimball and Tosca, with strength and discipline. From a young age, Elon was different. He devoured books for up to 10 hours a day, losing himself in science fiction and engineering manuals. At school, he was quiet, awkward, and often bullied. Once, he was beaten so badly he was hospitalized. But in the silence of his pain, a spark was born. At age 12, he coded his first video game, Blaster, and sold it for $500. For most kids, it was just a toy. For Elon, it was proof that imagination could be turned into reality. Looking back, he said, "I was raised by books, and then my parents." It was the beginning of a life shaped not by fitting in, but by daring to stand apart. Elon's childhood was marked not just by books and dreams, but by fracture. His parents divorced when he was 8. He lived mainly with his father, Errol Musk, a man Elon would later describe as having a dark side. Their relationship was complicated, filled with tension and emotional scars. At school, Elon was bullied relentlessly. He was small, bookish, and lost in thought. "I had a terrible upbringing," he admitted years later. "I had a lot of adversity, but it made me tougher." In those years, escape became his obsession. He dreamed of America, the land of inventors, of NASA, of possibility. But first, he needed a way out of South Africa. He knew that staying meant being forced into military service under apartheid, a system he despised. With his mother May's Canadian citizenship, Elon found a path. Canada would be the first stop. America would be the destination. In the quiet of his teenage nights, one thought consumed him. He didn't just want to live in the world, he wanted to change it. At 17, Elon Musk made the boldest move of his young life, leaving South Africa behind. With Canada as his gateway, thanks to his mother May's Canadian roots, which granted him citizenship by birth, he set off with little more than determination in his pocket. He arrived in Canada in 1989, staying with his mother's relatives in Saskatchewan, carrying no fortune, just the hope of building one. To survive, he worked grueling odd jobs, cleaning boilers in a lumber mill, shoveling grain in barns, and toiling on his cousin's farm. Hard, dirty labor, far from the science fiction dreams that fueled him. Yet those struggles became fuel. Canada wasn't the destination. It was the bridge to the United States, where his ambitions would take flight. In 1990, Elon enrolled at Queen's University in Ontario, where he honed his intellect and took his first real steps toward independence. There, far from Pretoria, the boy who once lived in books began shaping the man who would chase the stars. In 1992, Elon Musk arrived in the country he saw as the epicenter of innovation, the United States. He transferred from Queen's University to the University of Pennsylvania, chasing knowledge with relentless intensity. He earned 2 bachelor's degrees, one in physics, the other in economics, from Penn's College of Arts and Sciences and Wharton School. But classrooms weren't enough. Elon spent nights debating the future with friends, sketching out ideas for solar power, space travel, and the internet. He later reflected that he wanted to tackle the most important problems affecting humanity's future. Even then, he lived with unusual discipline, hosting house parties to cover rent, while pouring his energy into coding and sketching out visionary concepts. At Penn, he and his roommate Adeo Resi brainstormed business ideas. By the time he graduated in 1997, Musk wasn't just another student. He was a visionary determined to revolutionize industries most thought were untouchable. In 1995, Elon Musk made the riskiest decision of his life. Fresh from Stanford, where he lasted only 2 days before dropping out, he was an immigrant with no safety net, just a student visa, big ideas, and a relentless will to prove himself. Together with his younger brother Kimball Musk and family friend Greg Khoury, he co-founded Zip2 in a tiny rented office in Palo Alto. Money was so tight that Elon slept on the office couch, showered at a YMCA, and lived on fast food. "I couldn't even afford an apartment," he recalled. so the office was my home. Elon coded day and night while Kimball knocked on doors, trying to sell their online city guide to skeptical newspapers. At first, no one believed in them, but slowly, deals came. The New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, and momentum grew. Then came the clash. When more Davido Ventures invested, they brought in seasoned executives, insisting Elon wasn't ready to lead. He was stripped of his CEO title and demoted to Chief Technology Officer. It stung deeply. His own company, his own dream, yet he was pushed aside. Still, Elon swallowed the pain and pushed forward. His technology drove Zip2's success. In 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million. Elon earned $22 million. It was his first taste of wealth, but also his first brutal lesson. In business, vision isn't always enough. Control mattered. By 1999, Elon Musk was a 28-year-old newlywed with $22 million in the bank and fire in his soul. He had married Justine Wilson, the Canadian writer he'd first courted as a student, and together they set out to build a life, even as Elon chased his next impossible dream. That dream was XCOM, an online banking startup unlike anything the world had seen. Elon staked nearly all his fortune on it, convinced the future of money was digital. Money is really just an entry in a database, he declared. It doesn't have to be some physical thing. In 2000, XCOM merged with Confinity, founded by Max Levchin, Peter Thiel, Luke Nosek, and Ken Howery. Their product, PayPal, was already gaining traction. The merger was explosive, a clash of visions. Elon pushed hard for Microsoft software, believing it would scale faster. Levchin's engineers fought back, insisting Unix was safer and more reliable. Add to that Elon's relentless work demands and his lack of management experience, and investors grew uneasy. Then came the breaking point. In September 2000, as Elon and Justine honeymooned in Australia, the board made its move. They voted to remove him as CEO, replacing him with Peter Thiel. Elon later admitted with rare humility, "I think I could have done a better job as CEO." In retrospect, they may have been right. Though stripped of leadership, Elon remained PayPal's largest shareholder. And when eBay acquired the company in 2002 for $1.5 billion, he walked away with $180 million. Not as the conquering CEO, but as a visionary bruised and ready to gamble everything on rockets and electric cars. Behind the headlines of startups and millions earned, Elon Musk's personal life carried both love and heartbreak. In 2000, he married Canadian writer Justine Wilson, a woman he had pursued since his college days. Their marriage soon faced tragedy. In 2002, their first son, Nevada Alexander Musk, died at just 10 weeks old. Musk later admitted, "There is nothing worse than losing a child." They went on to have 5 more children through IVF. Twins Griffin and Xavier in 2004, followed by triplets Kai, Saxon, and Damien in 2006. But the weight of grief combined with Elon's relentless focus on work created distance. By 2008, as Tesla and SpaceX teetered on the edge of collapse, their marriage did too. Justine filed for divorce, later calling herself a starter wife. It was a painful turning point. Even as his personal world fractured, Musk buried himself deeper in his vision, determined that his losses would fuel a legacy larger than himself. In 2002, Musk founded Space Exploration Technologies Corp. SpaceX. Unlike other billionaires who treated space as a playground, Musk saw it as humanity's lifeline. But the challenge was staggering. NASA, Boeing, and Lockheed Martin had dominated space for decades. For a newcomer with no aerospace background, most experts predicted quick failure. The early days were brutal. Musk poured $100 million of his own fortune into SpaceX. He recruited engineers willing to risk stable careers for a chance to rewrite history. The team set up shop in a modest warehouse in El Segundo, California, and began designing the Falcon 1 rocket from scratch. Yet failure came fast and hard. The first 3 launches of Falcon 1, 2006, 2007, 2008, all ended in disaster. Millions of dollars vanished. Each explosion brought ridicule from critics who called Musk reckless and arrogant. Investors fled, and his own fortune was draining. By the 3rd failure, even Musk admitted he was close to ruin. He had just enough money for one more attempt. It was a moment of all or nothing, and that gamble would decide not just the fate of SpaceX, but the trajectory of Musk's entire career. Still, Elon refused to quit. In his words, "I will spend my last dollar if I have to. This is too important." On September 28, 2008, with the company's survival on the line, SpaceX prepared for Falcon 1 Flight 4 from a small island in the Pacific. Engineers held their breath. Minutes after ignition, the rocket thundered into the sky, higher and steadier than ever before. For the first time, Falcon 1 reached orbit. Cheers erupted. The impossible had happened. Just 6 weeks later, salvation came. NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. Overnight, the startup that was once mocked became a serious contender in aerospace. For Elon Musk, it was more than just a win. It was proof that failure was not the end, but the path. SpaceX had been reborn from ashes, and its mission, to make humanity multiplanetary, was alive. 2008 wasn't just SpaceX's year of desperation. It was also the year Tesla nearly died. Elon Musk had invested heavily into the dream of electric cars, but Tesla's first model, the Roadster, was riddled with delays, technical problems, and spiraling costs. The financial crisis hit at the worst possible time. Investors pulled back. Tesla was running out of cash. Even Musk himself admitted, both Tesla and SpaceX were bleeding money. "I thought I was going to lose both." Employees worked tirelessly, but tensions grew. Some board members doubted Musk's leadership. Suppliers demanded payments Tesla couldn't make. For a moment, bankruptcy seemed inevitable. Musk had already spent most of his PayPal fortune on SpaceX. He had to choose which company would live. But instead of giving up, he gambled everything. Musk poured his last remaining money into Tesla to keep the doors open. He said, it was either that or Tesla would die. In December 2008, just days before Tesla would have collapsed, a $40 million round of emergency funding was secured. Tesla had survived by inches. Like SpaceX, it had lived through the storm. In 2012, SpaceX made history. The Dragon capsule became the first commercial spacecraft to dock with the International Space Station. For Musk, it was vindication. For the first time, there is a new entrant that can serve the space station, he declared with pride. SpaceX was no longer a desperate startup. It was a pioneer. At the same time, Tesla introduced the Model S, a sleek electric sedan that shattered expectations. Reviewers called it one of the best cars ever built. It won awards, silenced critics, and showed the world that electric cars could be beautiful, fast, and practical. Musk's vision was no longer a joke, it was a revolution. But the victories came at a cost. Musk had risked his health, his fortune, even his family. He later admitted, "There were times I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown." Yet the gamble paid off. Both Tesla and SpaceX were alive, not just alive, but rising. By 2013, Elon Musk had transformed from a man on the brink of collapse into a leader of two companies shaping the future of both Earth and space. In 2010, he married British actress Tallulah Riley. Their romance played out like a Hollywood script: marriage, divorce, reconciliation, and remarriage. Yet by 2016, the curtain finally fell on their love story. Musk later admitted, it was probably not a good idea to marry the same person twice. Soon after, he was linked to actress Amber Heard. Their relationship, often under the glare of tabloids, was intense but short-lived. Musk reflected later, "I was really in love, and it hurt bad." Then came Grimes, the Canadian musician whose eccentricity mirrored Musk's own. Their bond was unconventional, producing 3 children: XAAC, born in 2020, a Dark Side Roll, born in 2021, and Technomechanicus, born in 2023. Though they separated, Musk called their relationship fluid, staying close as co-parents. In 2022, another revelation surfaced. Musk had quietly welcomed twins with Shai Vonzilis, an executive at Neuralink. By the 2020s, Elon Musk was no longer just an entrepreneur. He was the world's richest man, still racing against time. With Neuralink, he aimed to merge humans with AI. Through the Boring Company, he tried to solve traffic with underground tunnels. And with Starlink, he brought internet to the most remote corners of the globe. In 2021, Musk unveiled the Tesla bot, later named Optimus, a humanoid robot meant to handle dangerous and repetitive tasks. Critics mocked the early reveal, but Musk insisted, in the future, physical work will be a choice. Then came his most controversial gamble, buying Twitter, rebranded as X. To Musk, it was about free speech and creating a digital town square. Through triumph and controversy, his goal never changed, making humanity multiplanetary. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Love him or hate him, Musk's story remains unfinished, a restless chase toward tomorrow. Elon Musk is not just a man of today, he is a builder of tomorrows. From rockets that rise from ashes, to cars that defy oil, to dreams that reach Mars, his life is proof that the impossible is only the starting point. He is flawed, controversial, relentless, yet he dares where others hesitate. And in that daring, he forces us all to ask, how far are we willing to go to change the world?
Hey, thanks for watching this amazing story, and welcome to Video Biographer, where every life has a story and every story deserves to be told. If you believe that every person has a journey worth knowing, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a life story that could inspire or inform you. Ready to explore more? Choose one of the videos on your screen and discover a life that you should know about. This is Video Biographer, where stories live and life speak. See you in my next video. If there's a life story you'd like me to cover, drop your suggestion in the comments. Until then, stay blessed and take care.